Imagine a world where the gas stations have run dry, the supply lines are cut, and the hum of the modern world is threatened by a total lack of petroleum. In the 1930s and 40s, this wasn't a dystopian movie plot. It was the reality for millions of people across Europe and Asia. As the Second World War intensified, civilian access to gasoline vanished almost overnight. But the wheels of industry and survival had to keep turning. The solution didn't come from a secret laboratory or a new oil well. It came from the forest. This was the era of the wood gas vehicle. A time when cars, trucks, and even buses were powered by the very trees that lined the roads. To understand how a car can run on wood, you have to look past the fire and into the chemistry. A wood gas vehicle doesn't actually burn wood inside the engine. Instead, it uses a device called a gasifier, a large, often cumbersome metal cylinder usually mounted to the back or the side of the car. Inside this tank, wood chips or charcoal are heated to extreme temperatures in a low oxygen environment. This process, known as pyrolysis, breaks down the solid fuel into a flammable vapor consisting of carbon monoxide, hydrogen, and methane. This producer gas is then filtered, cooled, and piped directly into the internal combustion engine, where it is mixed with air and ignited just like gasoline. The sight of these vehicles was unlike anything we see today. Imagine a sleek Mercedes-Benz or a rugged military truck with a massive, smoking chimney bolted to its frame. Drivers had to become part-time stokers, carrying sacks of wood in their trunks and stopping every few dozen miles to feed the beast. Starting the car wasn't as simple as turning a key. It involved lighting a fire, waiting 20 minutes for the gas to build up, and carefully adjusting the air-to-fuel ratio to keep the engine from stalling. It was slow, it was dirty, and the engines produced about 30 to 40% less power than they did with liquid fuel. But in a world without oil, it was a miracle of engineering. At the height of the war, it is estimated that over 1 million wood gas vehicles were in operation. In occupied France, they were known as gazogenes. In Germany, they were a common sight on the civilian home front. Even in neutral countries like Sweden, nearly every private car was converted to run on wood or charcoal to keep the economy moving. Entire industries sprang up to produce standardized wood chips, and gasification kits were manufactured by the thousands. It was a massive, grassroots effort of human ingenuity, proving that when the primary systems of a civilization fail, we find a way to adapt using the resources at our feet. But why did this technology disappear almost as quickly as it arrived? As soon as the war ended and the oil tankers began to move across the oceans again, the wood gasifier was abandoned. The reasons were practical. Liquid gasoline is far more energy dense, much easier to transport, and allows for much smaller and more efficient engines. The wood gas system was maintenance heavy, requiring the constant cleaning of filters to prevent soot and tar from destroying the engine. It was a technology of necessity, a temporary bridge across a global crisis. However, the story of wood gas didn't end in 1945. During the oil shocks of the 1970s, interest in gasification spiked again as engineers looked for ways to reduce dependence on foreign oil. Today, in the 21st century, the technology has found a new life in the world of sustainable energy and rural development. In remote areas of the world where electricity is scarce but biomass is plentiful, modern gasifiers are being used to power generators that provide light and heat to entire villages. It has become a symbol of self-reliance for off-grid enthusiasts and a fascinating case study for mechanical engineers. The wood gas vehicle serves as a powerful reminder of the hidden energy stored in our natural world. It challenges our modern assumption that we are completely dependent on complex global supply chains. It shows us that with a bit of plumbing, some heat, and a few bags of wood, we can keep the world moving even in its darkest hours. It is a testament to the maker spirit. The idea that the solution to a global problem might be sitting right in your backyard. The next time you walk through a forest or see a pile of discarded wood scraps, don't just see waste. Think of the millions of miles driven by the generations before us using nothing but the power of trees. Think of the massive tanks bolted to the bumpers of family cars and the smoke rising from the back of a city bus. Think of the era when the forest fueled the machine. As we look toward a future of electric motors and hydrogen cells, the wood gas vehicle remains a remarkable chapter in our history. It is a story of a time when the world stopped looking for oil and started looking at the trees. When you see a modern car glide silently past, do you see the peak of technology? Or do you remember the heavy, clanking gasifiers that proved that where there is a will and a bit of wood, there is always a way? Thanks for watching.